All right, guys, today we have Dave and we have Esh, the kid, back at it again. And we're doing a little bit of social media show and tell today. We spend a lot of our time on Twitter. I do, at least. I don't know about you guys. Dave,
I do not.
you're not a big fan of Twitter.
Spend a lot of time in the gym. I don't have time for Twitter.
But
Look at those guns. You can see it.
Today, guys, we are going to go, I guess, into three different aspects of NBA social media. And each of you guys are going to get the opportunity to answer these three prompts that I give you. And we will see at the end of this who is the greater social media wizard. The first prompt I have for you guys is the best Victor Wembanyama thing you guys saw this week. Esh, since you are younger and probably supposedly that's supposed to mean we're better with social media, you get the first chance at sharing the best Victor Wembanyama thing you saw on social media this week.
All right, so the best thing I saw, it was a video of him. His sister got the jersey on, got a fake facial hair, got her hair tied back and slicked back to make herself look just like her brother. And she's like doing the dance, and then it turns into Wemby. And she was just, it makes it look like she and Wemby are the same person. They might have done it on Halloween, but I'm counting it for this week. It looked great. It was funny.
It's creepy. There's some big time like Michael Jackson black or white video, flashbacks there. I don't know about that. Yeah, it's interesting.
Does anyone know how tall she is? I saw one of the comments says she's 6'1".
I'm trying to figure this out. I mean, she's definitely tall. She's got great. You can see the wingspan. But it's hard to tell, right?
Dave,
you can see she's got long arms. So
she is a hooper. She plays ball too. So I assume that she's got.
I bet we could probably get these the statistics. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dave, you sound like you're making a pitch for the Spurs to sign another Wembanyama.
Sure. Why not?
Oh,
we'll say that. I won't say anything else.
Question. As if you were an NBA owner, all things considered, not just winning, but like marketing, all of that considered, would it be a better decision, you think, to sign Victor Wembanyama and his sister to I guess lifetime contracts, or better decision to decide to sign all the Antetokounmpo brothers to lifetime contracts?
I think I'd probably go with all the Antetokounmpo brothers.
Really?
To be honest with you. Yeah. I mean, we already know Giannis is one of the greatest of all times. We think Victor Wembanyama will be. And those other guys can at least play. They can run around out there. So
not according to social media. I mean, Thanasis is getting pooped on every single day. So they are dunking on him every single day. If he gets in and he gets those little spot minutes, which I think he can hoop, but
I don't know if he. All right, listen. I'm not gonna say he can hoop, but he can play. Does that make sense? He can be on the court. Physically.
He's a dog. He is a dog.
He is a dog. I mean, we saw that firsthand. World Cup. That Greece team, they were reliant on him being a dog, and you really. I thought they did a good job of showcasing his athleticism. He's not a guy who's going to be in an NBA rotation on a championship level team, or at least he shouldn't be. But he's an NBA caliber athlete, so that's half the battle.
That's what I mean, though. Let me elaborate. When I say hoop, I didn't say that he was a hooper.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
he's not a hooper, but to be in the NBA, you got to be able to at least hoop a little bit. So,
but also it helps that his brother is Giannis.
Of
we
course.
all know kind of this is the deal, and that's how it works. It's not a meritocracy.
He ain't no Cam Thomas though. Cam Thomas, the real hooper.
No. Yeah, he's no Cam Thomas for sure.
Okay.
So my favorite Wemby thing this week comes from Maddie Sky, who is a reporter in San Antonio. She covers San Antonio events for Axios. And she did a story on a few local bars. They're doing this Vela themed cocktail. Now, if you're not familiar, these are usually religious figures on a candle. So Saint Guadalupe or the Virgin Mary or, Jesus Christ. And it's a cocktail with a glass and it's got a Wemby sticker on it. And, I'm into this because if you think about it hard enough, Victor Wembanyama is a little bit of a savior, right? Like he's come to San Antonio to save basketball. He's going to continue the legacy of the San Antonio Spurs. So I'm into this. And if you really think about it, basketball is more like a religion. There's a lot of faith involved in this. And as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to Wembanyama, I believe. So I'm down with this. I think this was really cool.
Yeah, that's the Saint Wemby drink there. I like that.
I have
Saint Victor the First. I probably was another.
Yeah.
I have one issue with your post, Dave.
The drink is blue.
No, that's not it. That's not it. I'm looking very closely at the actual prayer that's written on this on the back.
Oh yeah, look at that. The prayer of Wemby.
Yeah, and it's basically saying like, oh God.
Can I read it?
Oh, divine basketball gods, please grant Wemby the power to lead the San Antonio Spurs to the NBA championship. Now, that's my kind of prayer.
Sure. It doesn't make any sense. Like, when have you ever? Usually, like, if it's a Jesus version of this, they're not being like, "Oh God, make Jesus a better person."
Okay. Well,
like, this doesn't make sense.
This is to avoid the sort of the slippery religious conversation. Though,
okay,
right?
all right,
yeah.
all right.
Yeah. We're praying to the basketball gods here, not to an actual person who just happens to be tall.
Okay. I like it. Ash, our second point of topic today.
Right.
The worst take that you saw on social media this week.
Okay.
Go for it.
Here's where we are. The worst take. Okay. There was this women's basketball college game going on. Okay. And we saw Melissa Fulwiley. I don't know how to say her name. I hope I don't butcher too bad. She made a great move coming down the court.
It was great.
Going behind her back. The jelly off the backboard. It looked amazing. It was a great move. And I love women's basketball. I would never crap on women's basketball. However, Irvin Magic Johnson, you know how he gets on Twitter. He just is going on there. He types a book and then he sends it out. He tweets this. I'm watching the women's basketball game between South Carolina and Notre Dame right now, and I just saw the best move in all of basketball. What? Now, I'm not even done with the tweet. Including the pros like LeBron, Steph, KD, Victor, meaning Wembanyama, who is a rookie, by the way, has only played, 8 games, something like that. And Jokic. Everyone must see the coast-to-coast behind-the-back move by freshman guard Malaysia Fulwiley from South Carolina. Wow. The best move in basketball?
It was a hell of a move.
Doing that. It was a great move.
This is also not a Magic tweet. This is not a typical Magic tweet. Usually, Magic is a guy I can rely on. His tweets are just going to tell me what happens. I mean, yes, right. I could watch the final score and get that from it, or looked at the box score, but I rely on Magic Johnson to tell me the thing that happened in the game that I just watched.
Exactly.
I don't rely on him to give me this sort of historical, greatest move ever. This is hyperbole. I'm blaming this on Magic Johnson's assistant. I don't think this was an actual Magic Johnson tweet. It doesn't feel like a Magic tweet.
Did we not find out like a year or so ago that Magic Johnson is not the one that's actually tweeting from his account, but he just kind of talks and his assistant does the tweeting anyways?
Is that real?
I think this was a mistake. Real? Yeah,
I'm pretty sure they did a deep dive on this. I'm pretty sure on No Dunks before, and I'm pretty sure when they found out that Magic Johnson, he came out on Twitter himself. I had to find a tweet. I don't know. I had to do some research, but I'm pretty sure he said that he is not the one that crafts the tweet. He just kind of sits there and his assistant acts as the dictaphone and relays the tweets. I'm pretty sure this is factual. 95% sure.
And that's why I'm dubious of this tweet.
Interesting.
It doesn't feel like a Magic tweet to me.
Really what happened was Magic said, "What a great move," and the assistant said, "This is the greatest move of all basketball." But that's why it's a bad take.
That's trying to be too NBA Twitter. You can't do that. You just don't fall into that trap, Magic. You're too good.
Too good. The worst part about this tweet, I think, actually, is you kind of touched on this, Esh, but I don't understand why he includes Victor in this tweet? That makes no sense. Like,
you know what? Actually, this is a funny thing that leads into my worst take of the week a little bit, and something I wanted to hit on. Mine is that at MSG, the Spurs, they go play the Knicks. They got beat. They got beat badly. I mean, the Knicks are a good basketball team. The Spurs are not. And this is fun. I like this stuff, right? Like that crowd is hot for basketball, and they're chanting overrated at Victor Wembanyama. Which, number one, categorically untrue. We have not only not properly rated him enough, we haven't overhyped him enough. This guy does something insane every single game.
You're right.
But it does lead into a certain other thing, which, like, again, with the Magic tweet mentioning Victor there, it's a little bit early. I saw someone bringing up the Spurs as a quality win for the Toronto Raptors. And it's like, no, we aren't there yet. Victor Wembanyama is going to be great. I think already defensively, you see he is a total game changer. And that's just physics. He is a complete game changer, changes everything for them on the court defensively and offensively. It is coming along. I mean, he had that 38-point game, has looked incredible. But the Spurs are not a good basketball team. They're not supposed to be yet. So we need to just pump the brakes on the Spurs.
Pump the brakes.
Overhype Victor Wembanyama, because thus far he has lived up to everything that we have put out in front of him, and we need to be wrong. I'd rather be wrong on the positive side than on the negative with him. But the Spurs are not good. So let's stop using the Spurs as an example of like, oh, it's a huge win. It's not a huge win. It looks big because everybody watched you on TV, and they watched because of Victor Wembanyama.
So, Dave, are you saying that your tweet here is the bad take?
Overrated for Victor Wembanyama. It's an awful take.
All right, look, I gotta say this. Like you said, it's New York, right? They boo their own players, right? So if you got somebody,
but they're right about that, though. You should boo your own players.
They should boo their own players. But I just want to say, I got to defend them just for a second, right? As a crowd, like I know you said what you said. I get it, but they gotta say something. He's young in his career. The next time he comes to MSG, he won't be overrated. He probably will drop 50 and have 15 rebounds.
He's gonna get
6 assists.
Mark my words.
This is his origin story right here. This
Before
is the origin story
career is
for
over.
Wemby at MSG.
Before his career is over, he will get an MVP chant at MSG.
Oh yeah, at MSG. I'll lock that in with you.
Will it be as a Knick though? Will it be as a Knick?
No. No.
One final thought I had is there are a lot of things very off about that Magic tweet, but the one thing that comes to my head is when I think of Wembanyama, obviously we've seen like 7 games from him in the NBA. I don't think I think of like a specific move that he has. Like there's no
we didn't have one yet.
Yeah, he's not iconic. Like why?
That's why I picked the tweet though, because you think about all these other guys, they got somewhat of a signature shot. I know people like to clown LeBron because they say LeBron has no bag, but he's got to look down at the ball and shoot it the FU3 that they call it.
He doesn't have a bag.
That's not a move.
But that's a signature move. Steph's got his any shot, really. The look away 3 is his. KD's got the fadeaway over people's hands. And Jokic has got his little one-legged, I'm just playing around, like lazily throw it up. Wembanyama just kind of has the I'm long. That's what he's got right
I like
now,
to think about it like this, man. Like moves happen in a vacuum. And that
Yeah.
move behind the back, layup through the lane was incredible. It was amazing.
Right.
There is no best move ever. I mean, it's just there are iconic moves that happen, but that's because of time and score, moment, place, person, and maybe even opponent, right? Michael Jordan did some incredible stuff, and we think about it, like the changing hands on the layup. We think about this stuff, but because it happened in the finals. Like, we don't think about it. He's not doing it in the preseason, and everyone thinks it's amazing. Because if so, it's like it's kind of mundane. Just change his hands. It's amazing because it was in the finals. This was a hell of a move, though. I would say this is a little bit of the soft bigotry of low expectations. when it comes to women's basketball, and it's not paying enough attention to how the game has grown and how individual skills for female basketball players has gone through the roof, because there now is more of a market there in the grassroots. Women are coming up training more like their male counterparts, and this is the fruit of all that labor. And it doesn't just start with her. It's been happening now for a few years. We've seen the changing tide, not just in women's college basketball, but also in the WNBA. I mean, just look at how much different the on the ball play is in the last 5 years in the WNBA and women's college basketball. And this is just, again, it's a signifier. But we live in a world that if it doesn't blow up on social media, the majority of people, if they're not actively engaged with whatever it is, they're not going to see it. And Magic just happened to see this one women's basketball highlight that happened to get viral. And I would argue it might not be the best women's basketball move we've seen this year. You got to go back through the tape, but it's probably not even the best move that we've seen this year. It's just the one that we saw this week.
Exactly. I think Magic was trying to help, but in the end, it might do more damage, because then everybody in the comments are saying, but John Wall was doing this 10 years ago, so. And
again, man, like, comparison is the thief of joy. And this is the thing about basketball. Basketball is built on joy. Wanting to constantly compare women to male players, number one, is a huge mistake, because we're built differently. Our bodies are different.
Yeah.
The sport is different. But also, even just like one player to another in a particular move is weird. They all have their own style. It's an art. It's not a science. If it was a science and everyone was doing everything mechanically the same way, well, I mean, we got video games for that. I could just the beauty is in the human body and that poetry and motion doing things differently.
After hearing all this, I'm starting to think Magic was referring to Victor Oladipo, not Victor Wembanyama. Oladipo's got a bag. He's got a bag.
Spoken like an Orlando Magic fan. Spoken like a Magic fan.
He's got a bag. Okay, last thing I have for you guys. Last prompt. It's called Put in the Louvre, and it refers to the best meme you have seen all week. Esh, the floor is yours.
Mine is actually from today, Thursday, November the 9th. The Atlanta Hawks. I don't know if you count videos as memes, but I do. The Atlanta Hawks put out an OnlyFans promotion, only Hawks fans, with a sexy Harry the Hawk in the bed.
Only Hawks fans know where the real action is. Only Hawks fans know what they really want to see. And only Hawks fans know just where to get it. The all-new NBA in-season tournament. Join in and wake up your wild side. Hot 5-on-5 action.
I saw a tweet from DeJounte Murray says, man, take this down. It was so funny to me, but the OnlyFans Hawks. I don't know what they were thinking, but it was hilarious. Loved it.
Yeah,
loved
we're all too online. That's my takeaway. And I know that we're doing this for YouTube, but we're all too online. I mean, I've got like some greater societal commentary and takes that I'll just keep to myself. But, social media in and of itself is kind of a weird place. I'm not necessarily into brands using social media like an individual person would. And also, I think a lot of that, you wind up getting into places like this where somebody thinks it's funny to make an OnlyFans commercial with a mascot, which is odd.
The question I have is, this isn't like a uniquely Atlanta Hawk thing. Like, they didn't even like any team could have done the same thing. Like, there's no like play on words here. They did it. You're right. They did it. There
is a sort of a play on words, right? Because it's OnlyFans, only Hawks fans.
Yeah, but it could be only Celtics fans.
Yeah, but they didn't make it, right? So Atlanta, look, we also down here in Atlanta, we have the swipe right nights they've done over the past couple of years with Tinder, and they do a bunch of stuff like that.
We used to do like, here's the calendar for the team, so you know when they're playing. Hey, we're gonna give out a t-shirt. Bobblehead. Come on, kids, come see your favorite player. And now it's Tinder night. I like this is again. Now we're getting into. I mean, this is where the NBA to me is has lost a lot of its like actual fans behind, and the growth is limited because they just don't care about anything but the internet. And this is another example of it.
Wait, also, this is just a promo for an in-season tournament game, right? Like, there's nothing else going on, right? Like,
no, there's
very
nothing
weird
else going on down here.
Did the NBA pay for this? That's what I gotta know. Did the NBA pay them?
Oh, no. This is the team did. I mean, and nobody paid for it. Somebody just said, you know what'd be funny? Like, listen, I've been in entertainment for a long time. Not just basketball, but I've done some goofy stuff, and some of it's out in the world. But these sorts of ideas come from, you know, it'd be kind of funny. And then no one telling you no along the way.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
that's
Harry's
great,
always
and shout out to the Atlanta Hawks organization for allowing that sort of creativity. But if I was the owner of that team, I'd be like, what in the are we doing? What is happening here? There are going to be children at this game.
It just plays into the Harry the Hawk, his personality. You know, he's always going around. You know, he used to have the kiss cam. He'd take his big old beak, kiss a woman. He basically putting the beak all over her head. You know, it's just Harry, man. You understand it when you're at the Fortress a lot, when you're down at State Farm Arena a lot.
Atlanta's just built different, I guess.
It is built different.
They need to take
Definitely
James
built
Harden.
different.
They need to take James Harden.
I love Atlanta, man. I love Atlanta.
All right, Dave, floor is yours.
You know, my meme of the week is a guy who put himself in the meme. I'm going to say D'Angelo Russell jumping with LeBron James in that epic transition dunk against the Miami Heat in the game that the Lakers lost. But if you go and look, there are a ton of photos of D'Angelo Russell jumping for joy along with dunkers that he's given the ball to. And I think that this is actually kind of a beautiful thing. Basketball, like I always say, built on joy. Clearly a ton of joy here. But the best kind of joy is joy for somebody else, right? An assist makes two people happy. D'Angelo Russell has found a way to make dunks make two people happy because he's going up there with you. It's like his aura is lifting you higher. And it's just a great picture. And to me, this is what basketball is all about, because this is the stuff that me and my friends would do, you know, growing up. I mean, my buddy gets a dunk in a game on a fast break. I'm jumping, even if I'm on the bench. So I love this. I love the spirit of it. I love, you know, everything about it. And I also love that this is sort of his signature thing. I don't know that I've ever seen D'Angelo Russell dunk, but he has done this at least 10 times that I've seen. And so I love it so much.
Yeah, I like it too.
I feel like a lot of the reaction on social media around this was in the opposite direction, Dave. They're not a fan of D'Angelo Russell doing this.
It's just because it's D'Angelo Russell.
You know what? I'll trust my judgment.
Is it
they
just
don't like
because
D'Lo.
Like if it was like Kyrie or someone else, you think the conversation would have been different?
I don't know about Kyrie, but if it was Austin Reeves, certainly. If it was if it was Steph Curry, people would be positive about it. And
it's just because where D'Angelo Russell is right now in the eye of the Laker fan, or I'm sorry, the eye of the LeBron fan, because you know how it is when you turn sour, LeBron fans sour, they're like the equivalent of the Beyonce fan base going crazy on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? Like D'Angelo Russell, he's already made himself into a meme last year by shooting after the games in the playoffs. And then like every single time, like their season ended and it's like, don't worry, Lakers fans, D'Angelo Russell's in the gym shooting.
That was one of my favorite memes, bro. I love
so
that.
The fact that now he's here and he's doing something that's like Dave said, it's just fun. This is joyous. You should be celebrating your teammates. It's not like he's LeBron James pretending to block Rondo doing a layup when he's a teammate, you know, and clowning people. Like this is just, hey man, I got an assist. I'm jumping with you. This is awesome. And everybody's like, D'Angelo, you know what? You should have passed it sooner.
People are haters.
Hit 10 more shots in that game. So that's the reason why LeBron fans getting on D'Lo. They're like, this is terrible. This is not good.
I have one follow-up question for both of you guys, I guess. But when something like this happens in a game you're losing, what are your thoughts? Like when people are celebrating in spite of a loss.
I think it depends on the situation and who you are. For example, Jordan Poole throwing a backboard alley-oop to Kyle Kuzma when you're like down 20.
Not a fan?
What are you doing?
Not a fan?
Yeah,
Okay.
not a fan of that.
Yeah, lack self-awareness.
Yeah. You're doing it and you're just trying to have fun. You're trying to get the camaraderie up and you might be down, but you're still hyped for something because maybe you just capped a run. Like, what's going on, right? The Jordan Poole thing, that there was no run. They were terrible. Like this situation.
What's amazing is the same play, but it's the Timberwolves and they're winning. And we're all like, see, this is amazing basketball. This is joy. This is, and these other guys, oh, you're down 20. You're not allowed to have fun.
No, you can't have fun. You got to be mad.
I'm a basketball coach, man. Like, I think that first and foremost, basketball is, again, joy. Needs to have fun. And even when you're losing, and especially for these guys, it's an 82-game season, it doesn't mean that you should necessarily celebrate like you just won the finals when you're down 20 and you get a big
tournament, right?
Yeah, but also, I don't know, there's nothing wrong with being happy for making a shot. There's nothing wrong with being happy for your teammate for doing something. So it doesn't bother me all that much. I try not to be like old man yells at the clouds about any of that stuff in particular, because I remember I'm older than you guys. So I'm on this cusp where my coaches were still pretty bad and old school. Like, I had a coach that in football, he mowed the lawn with one of those old school, you have to sharpen the blades. Like that. He did that. He lined the field himself, like that sort of mentality. I mean, that's what I grew up with coaching wise. Like, that was football. Basketball was not much different. It was, I'm going to sit and read the paper. You guys run suicides until I get tired. So I grew up with that. I know how, like, as a coach, I've tried to be the opposite of that and lead with more of this stuff. But there is a certain amount of, I want you to be a winner. And is it losing mentality to celebrate many successes while you're losing the bigger battle? I don't know. I haven't figured that out. I think you just do what feels right. If it feels right to jump with your teammate, jump with your teammate. If it feels right, like, you wouldn't say he shouldn't dap him up. Now, is there a line that gets crossed, right? Is it too much? Are you over celebrating? Because then it gets into the, okay, now we're contrived. Now we're doing ice in the veins, when we hit a buzzer beater down 30. You know what I mean? Like, because that's a little bit different. So I do think it depends on the guy. And I understand people don't take D'Lo seriously, right? They think he's an unserious player because of how he plays. Truth is, man, he's a team player. Some of the best parts of his game is the way he passes. I was a very high on him as a draft prospect coming out of Ohio State, because I thought he was such a gifted and talented and unique passer. So with him, I think this is real. I think it's genuine, and I love it. I'm all in. I'm ready to argue with anybody who thinks differently about D'Lo there.
Cool. Boy, spitting again.
Cool.
That's all I do.
Well, there is no winner to this exercise except for me, because I get to see
we all won. Yeah, we all won.
Yeah.
This was good.
I get to see all the
even though I had to say, what do you mean meme?
Oh no, Dave, you didn't ask him what a meme was.
Well, hold on now, hang on a second. Because a meme, in my opinion, I thought it was supposed to be referencing something. Referential meme. Right? Not just this visual thing that kind of went viral.
Yeah.
I get you.
Now you open me up to a totally different world.
I will say, as a communication major in college, in one of my classes, they were teaching us a meme. And I'm like, what is this? Apparently it's like a scientific term for something. But what is it? I don't remember. I really don't. But apparently it means something else. But anyway.
Yeah, it doesn't mean this. That's okay.
Yeah.
But all I need to know is what you mean by it.
Yeah. Cool. Well, thank you guys. And if you guys want to see more, leave a comment below. And hopefully Esh will figure out how to make Magic Johnson tweet better by the end of this.
Magic Johnson's tweets are perfect. Don't change a thing.